You are watching The Forbidden Files. In today's video, we are going to discuss the hidden musical score in The Last Supper that took 500 years to find. You have seen this painting before, everyone has. The Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci. Painted on the wall in Milan between 1495 and 1498. One of the most studied, reproduced and analyzed work of art in human history. Historians have examined every centimeter of it for 500 years. They know the faces, they know the gestures, they know the symbolism of the bread and the wine. And yet in 2007, 5 centuries after Leonardo finished it, an Italian musician sat down with a ruler, a musical staff, and a very strange theory. He placed a musical staff over the painting and he heard music, not randomly, not vaguely. A 40-second composition, structured, intentional, and according to those who have heard it, deeply haunting. Leonardo da Vinci was not only a painter, he was also a trained musician, a composer, and an inventor of musical instruments. He left coded messages in at least 3 of his other known works. The Last Supper is not a painting on canvas, it is a mural, painted directly onto the plaster wall of dining hall in the convent of Santa Maria delle Grazie in Milan, Italy. Leonardo worked on it for 300 years, from 1495 to 1498, and under commission from Ludovico Sforza, the Duke of Milan. The mural is 8.8 meters wide and 4.6 meters tall, roughly the size of a large cinema screen. It depicts the movement Jesus tells his 12 apostles that one of them will betray him. The painting nearly did not survive. Within decades of its completion, it was already deteriorating. Napoleon's soldiers used the wall of target practice. A flood soaked it in 1800. A World War II bomb destroyed the roof of the building and the fresco was exposed to the elements for nearly 3 years. And throughout all of that, the secret inside it survived. To understand what Giovanni Maria Pala found in 2007, you first need to understand Leonardo himself, because Leonardo da Vinci was not simply a painter who happened to play music. He was a musician who always happened to paint. Leonardo da Vinci grew up in Florence at the heart of the Italian Renaissance, a period where art, music, science, and mathematics were considered one unified pursuit of understanding. Music, Leonardo as musician, Leonardo and hidden messages, the mathematics of the Last Supper. A man who hid mirror writing in his private notes, who built hidden proportions into every painting, who was as gifted in music as in art. The idea that he might have hidden a musical score inside his masterpiece is not far-fetched. It is almost expected. In 2007, Italian musician and researcher Giovanni Maria Pala published his discovery after spending years studying the Last Supper. His starting point was a simple observation that had been made before but never developed. The loaves of bread in the hands of apostles, arranged along the long table, appear to sit at different heights. Reading right to left is consistent with Leonardo's mirror writing habit. All of his private notebooks were written in mirror script. The right to left, if he hid music in the painting, he would naturally encode it in the same direction. When the notes are played in sequence with the time values Pala assigned based on object shapes, they produce a coherent 40-second musical composition. Not a random collection of notes, a structured piece with rhythm, with phrasing, with a beginning, a development, and a close. Pala described the piece as resembling a requiem, a mass for the dead. Given that the Last Supper depicts the final meal before the crucifixion of Christ, a requiem-like composition would be entirely appropriate in context. But here is what neither side disputes. If Leonardo wanted to hide a musical score in a painting, he had the knowledge, the skill, the habit, and the motive to do exactly this. Here is the larger thought behind this story. The Last Supper has been in plain sight for 500 years, reproduced billions of times, studied by the world's greatest art historians, analyzed by theologians, mathematicians, and conspiracy theorists alike. And we have been looking at music the entire time without hearing it. Leonardo lived in a world where knowledge was dangerous. The church controlled what could be written and said openly. Thinkers, scientists, and artists routinely encoded their real ideas in ways that the educated or initially could find. Hiding a truth inside a painting was not paranoia, it was a strategy. The man who spent his life writing backwards left us painting full of hands and a bread. And for 500 years we just thought it was dinner. Leonardo da Vinci died in 1519. He left behind thousands of pages of private notes, dozens of paintings, and hundreds of inventions. He also left behind this painting, 8.8 meters wide, on a wall in Milan, depicting a meal that changed the world, and possibly inside the position of 13 pairs of hands and a row of bread rolls. A 40-second piece of music, a requiem for the man at the center of the table, written 500 years before anyone found it. Whether Pala is right or not, the fact that it took 5 centuries for anyone to even ask the question says something, and we are still finding things. If this made you look at art differently, subscribe and follow. Every file we open is something history hid in plain sight.